The most intelligent men you'll ever meet are the ones who rarely need to speak. They're not loud, they don't explain themselves to everyone, and they sure as hell don't beg for approval. They've learned something most people never do, that words come with a cost. Say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and your life can change forever. One careless sentence can lose you trust, respect, a job, a brother, a woman, or your freedom. But silence, used with wisdom, silence can make kings. Welcome back, brothers. And if you're new here, this channel isn't for everyone. This is for men who are building something, not pretending. For men who value wisdom over noise, power over attention, self-mastery over self-pity. If you've been here before, you know the deal. You're not here to be entertained, you're here to evolve. And if you're new, well, maybe you've been feeling it too. Maybe you've noticed the world around you is getting louder. Everyone has an opinion, everyone's arguing, everyone wants to be heard, but no one listens. And in the middle of all that noise, intelligent men do something different. They withdraw, they observe, and they choose their words with surgical precision, not because they're weak, but because they've seen what loose lips can cost. You want to be strong? Then learn to shut up. You want respect? Then speak less and act more. You want power? Then understand this. The real ones don't flex their intelligence. They let their presence say everything. In this video, we're breaking down 7 things an intelligent man never says, not because he's afraid to, but because he knows better. Each one of these phrases seems normal at first, but they reveal something dangerous: ego, insecurity, weakness, and a lack of emotional discipline. And if you're following the philosophy of Stoicism, as many powerful men in history have, you'll recognize the pattern. Speak only when it improves silence. Say less, do more, and master yourself first. The Stoics weren't about words. They were about control. They believed the tongue was a wild beast, one that needed taming, and that the most dangerous man in the room is not the one who talks too much, but the one who can sit in silence and smile. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something. Are you the type of man who reacts emotionally to everything? Or are you becoming the man who watches, analyzes, and chooses when to act and when to stay quiet? Because once you master that, your life changes. People notice. The noise fades away, and suddenly, you're not just another man yelling into the void. You're the man people stop talking when you enter the room, because you've said so little, but it always means everything. So if you're here right now, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you already know it's going to hit different. And watch it all the way through, because what we're about to break down could change the way you carry yourself forever. Let's begin. Chapter 1. I know everything. The death of growth. Let me tell you something that separates the intelligent man from the one who just thinks he's smart. The intelligent man stays a student. The other, he pretends to be the teacher, even when he has nothing to teach. The phrase, I know, is a trap, because the moment you say I know, you shut the door on everything else. You stop listening. You stop growing. You stop evolving. Socrates, the man many call the father of philosophy, said it best: I know that I know nothing. This wasn't false humility. It was the key to his wisdom, because once you admit how little you truly understand, you become open, teachable, humble enough to grow. Now let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you listened to someone without waiting for your turn to speak? Be honest, because most men don't listen. They reload. They wait for the other person to stop talking, just so they can fire off their next point. But intelligent men, they don't do that. They know that the quietest guy in the room, he's usually the one learning the most. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the world, and yet he journaled daily about his flaws, his blind spots, his constant need to stay grounded. You know what that tells me? Power doesn't exempt you from ignorance. If anything, it should make you more aware of it. Watch how real CEOs move, the top-tier ones. They don't fill the room with noise. They ask sharp questions. They surround themselves with people who know what they don't, and they listen like it's their job, because it is. Here's the truth, brother. Arrogance closes the mind. Certainty is the enemy of intelligence. You can be confident, or you can be a know-it-all, but you can't be both. Let me bring this home. Think about the last time someone tried to teach you something, and you brushed it off. Maybe you thought, yeah, I already know this. But did you really? Or were you too proud to hear something you'd heard before, said in a way that could have changed you? Every man you meet knows something you don't. Every conversation holds a lesson, but only if you're willing to shut up and actually listen. Here's how to stay sharp, no matter how much you achieve. Stay teachable. Carry a beginner's mind. Ask more than you answer. And never, I repeat, never say, I know everything. Because the moment you believe you've arrived, you've already started falling. Let's move to the next, because the second thing an intelligent man never says might be the one that's keeping you stuck right now. Chapter 2. That's just who I am. Escaping accountability. There's a phrase that sounds harmless on the surface. You've heard it. You've probably said it. That's just who I am. But let me tell you what that phrase really means. It means you've stopped growing. It means your ego is writing checks your character can't cash. It means you've chosen comfort over responsibility. When you say, that's just who I am, you're not declaring truth, you're declaring surrender. Because identity, real identity, is not fixed. It's shaped daily, in silence, through repetition, resistance, and refinement. Stoicism teaches us that your character is your only true possession, not your reputation, not your image, but your character. And character, my friend, isn't decided by how you feel. It's built by what you choose, especially when it's hard. When you use this phrase, that's just who I am, what you're really saying is, don't expect me to do better. Don't challenge me. Don't hold me to a higher standard, because I've already decided I'm finished. Intelligent men don't do that. They don't defend their flaws. They refine them. They don't hide behind their personality. They rebuild it. Let's talk about two men. One was a philosopher emperor. The other was his son. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily. He questioned himself, held himself to a higher standard, fought his own impulses like he was at war. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Now, Commodus, his son, inherited the throne, but not the discipline. Arrogant, reckless, addicted to flattery, And when people criticized him, he had them silenced. Do you know what he would have said if you confronted him with his flaws? That's just who I am. And it got him killed. You hear it all the time. I'm just bad at commitment. I've always had a temper. I can't focus for long. I'm not the emotional type. No, you've just never held yourself accountable. Because it's easier to stay the same than to sit with your demons and change. You want a better mantra? Say this instead. Who I am is what I do consistently. Not what I say I'll do. Not what I post. Not what I mean well to become. But what I show up as, every single day. Look, I've been there too. You screw up, you lash out, you ghost people you care about, and instead of fixing it, you defend it. I've always been like this. I can't change now. But deep down, you know that's a lie. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. You're a man. And that means you can choose. You can rebuild. You can rewrite the damn code. Every time you show discipline, every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you drop an excuse and take the hit, you become unrecognizable. Not to others, to yourself. And that is the death of the old you. So the next time you catch yourself saying, that's just who I am, stop. Ask yourself, or is that just who I've been when I was afraid to grow? Don't cling to an identity that no longer serves you. You're not here to stay the same. You're here to become dangerous in the right direction. You are not your habits. You are your choices. Let's move forward, because the next phrase is what weak men say when life gets hard, and strong men refuse to repeat. Chapter 3. It's not fair. Complaints are a weak man's crutch. It's not fair, probably the most overused sentence in the victim's vocabulary. You'll hear it everywhere, from grown men blaming their past to boys who never learned how to fight the right battles. But here's the harsh truth. No one wants to say out loud. Life doesn't care if it's fair, and only weak men expect it to be. You were lied to growing up, told that good things happen to good people, that justice always wins, that if you try your best, the world will clap for you. But then the world hit you in the mouth, and it didn't apologize. So what do most men do? They start complaining, moaning, blaming, sulking. One says, "This isn't fair." The other says, "What can I control?" Only one of those men walks away stronger. That's a Stoic truth. And if you're serious about building inner strength, not just flexing online, then you need to internalize it. Because an intelligent man doesn't waste time arguing with reality. He adapts, he adjusts, he endures, without whining. Epictetus was born a slave. His leg was broken by his master. He lived in a world where his life was worth less than a coin. But did he cry about fairness? Did he scream at the gods? No. He did something far more dangerous. He mastered his mind, and he wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Now let's talk about Nelson Mandela, 27 years in a prison cell, beaten, silenced, isolated. He had every right to complain, every excuse to scream "it's not fair" to the world, but he didn't. He focused on who he would become after the suffering. And when he finally walked out, he wasn't bitter. He was forged. You know why Stoicism survives thousands of years? Because it speaks to warriors, not whiners. It doesn't promise you comfort. It promises you strength, if you can handle truth. And here's the truth. Complaints are a crutch. Excuses are mental opioids, and saying "it's not fair" is how men self-sabotage in public while hoping someone rescues them. I'm not saying life isn't cruel. It is. You'll be betrayed, passed over, left behind, blamed for things that weren't your fault. But I am saying how you respond to those moments. That's your signature. Weak men complain and wait for mercy. Intelligent men adapt and apply pressure. Control is power, not over the world, but over yourself. That's where Stoicism lives, in the silence after the storm, in the breath between rage and response. When a man masters that, he becomes dangerous, not because he fights, but because he doesn't need to. So the next time you feel yourself about to say, "This isn't fair," stop. Ask instead, what is this moment asking of me? Who can I become through this pain? Life doesn't owe you fairness, but you owe yourself strength. Let's keep going. Because the next phrase, it's the most misunderstood expression of masculinity, and it's making men emotionally bankrupt. Chapter 4. Real men don't show emotion. Misunderstanding strength. Somewhere along the way, men were told a lie so deep, so normalized, that it turned millions of boys into emotionally paralyzed adults. And the lie goes like this: real men don't show emotion. It starts early. Don't cry, don't show fear, don't talk about pain. Just bottle it up, shake it off, man up. And what happens? That emotion doesn't disappear. It transforms into aggression, into silence, into addictions, into self-destruction. You ever wonder why so many men feel numb, why they don't feel joy anymore, or why they lash out over small things, but say nothing when something really hurts? It's because they were never taught what to do with their emotion, just that they weren't allowed to show it. But here's the Stoic truth. Emotion doesn't make you weak. Uncontrolled emotion does. Stoicism is not about being cold. It's about being clear. It doesn't tell you to suppress. It tells you to observe, to feel it fully, without being ruled by it. Seneca, the great Roman philosopher, lost his child, and instead of pretending it didn't hurt, he wrote about it. He said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." But even in grief, he practiced control. He didn't suppress. He didn't collapse. He channeled the pain into clarity. This is what intelligent men do. They feel without losing focus. They understand their rage, their sadness, their fear, and they wield it. They don't leak emotion everywhere like boys, and they don't bury it like cowards. They direct it like a blade. You see, there's a difference between performance and presence. Emotional intelligence isn't about crying on camera. It's about knowing what you feel, why you feel it, and what to do with it. Look, maybe you were raised to shut it all down, to be strong by being silent. Maybe you were told, real men don't feel that stuff. But tell me something. What's more powerful? A man who hides his pain until it explodes, or the man who faces it, names it, and turns it into fuel? You want to be truly masculine? Then master your emotion. Don't suppress it, control it, channel it, and own it without apology. Because the most dangerous man in the room isn't the one who hides how he feels, it's the one who knows how to use it. And if this chapter hit a little too close, if you've been hiding behind that phrase, real men don't show emotion, then maybe it's time to redefine what real strength looks like. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if this video is resonating with you. And most importantly, stay until the end. because what's coming next might be the one lesson that snaps everything into focus. Let's move forward, because the next thing intelligent men never say is the soft lie that robs them of time. Chapter 5. I'll do it later. The illusion of time. There's a voice that lives in every man. It sounds harmless. It whispers soft lies, and its favorite phrase is this: I'll do it later. That voice doesn't scream. It doesn't need to. It waits for you to get just comfortable enough to stop moving. Then it speaks. You've got time. You'll feel more ready tomorrow. Later is just like now, just easier. But the Stoics had a brutal answer to that voice: memento mori. Remember, you could die today. It wasn't morbid, it was clarity. Because the intelligent man understands something most people never grasp until it's too late. Time is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is a myth. Later is a lie. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. He ran an empire, but still made time to reflect. Every morning he asked, what kind of man will I be today? Every night he examined himself. What did I do well? Where did I slip? What can I control tomorrow? That's the Stoic method: morning reflection, evening audit, not perfection, awareness, not delay, discipline. Most men don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they keep saying later. Later is how you waste years. Later is how you become the man who almost did something. Later is how boys die full grown. There's a man I knew, average in every way, grew up poor, broken home, no mentorship, no talent really. But one day he got tired of telling himself tomorrow. He started waking up at 5, reading for 30 minutes, lifting, writing, building, every day, not perfectly, but relentlessly. 5 years later, he owns 2 companies, mentors young men, trains fighters, and still wakes up before the sun, quietly, on time. No secret sauce, no magic ritual, just a war with the lie of later that he refused to lose. You know what changed? Not the world around him, not his circumstances, his relationship with time. You think you have time? Look around. People die with to-do lists full of purpose they never pursued, regret rotting inside their journals. Stoicism doesn't wait for motivation. It moves on clarity, and the clearest truth is this: you might not get another chance. So ask yourself, every morning, what matters today? Who will I show up as? What action would make me proud if this was my last day on earth? And every night, did I waste time? Did I let fear delay me? What can I improve, starting tomorrow at dawn? That's the rhythm of the intelligent man, not perfect, not rigid, but clear. He doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't trust the illusion of someday. He understands the weight of minutes, and he moves now. Later is a thief. Kill it before it steals your future. Let's continue. Because the next phrase, it's what men say when they've lost their edge and given up the fire that made them dangerous. Chapter 6. That's impossible. Limits set by fear. The word impossible sounds intelligent, sounds final, sounds like the voice of reason. But most of the time, it's not reason. It's fear, dressed in logic's clothing. You see this everywhere. Men who've already decided their limits, not based on fact, but on comfort. And so they say, that's impossible, when what they really mean is, that scares me, that requires more of me, that exposes where I've been lazy. An intelligent man doesn't use impossible as a defense. He uses it as a question. He asks, is it actually impossible or just uncomfortable? He explores first, then decides. Let me tell you a true story. 1965 plus, U.S. Navy Commander James Stockdale is shot down over Vietnam. He's captured, imprisoned for 7 years, beaten, tortured, starved, solitary confinement. You know what most people would have said? There's no way anyone could survive that. That's impossible. But he did. Not by avoiding the pain, but by accepting it fully. He practiced what the Stoics taught: radical acceptance of reality. No illusions, no whining, no fantasy. He said, you must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. Stockdale didn't survive because he believed in blind hope. He survived because he faced the impossible, without flinching. He refused to let fear make decisions for him. That's Stoic courage, not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. You know what kills more dreams than failure ever could? That split second, where a man hears possibility whisper, and fear interrupts with, that's not for you. That's impossible. But here's the truth. Impossible is rarely about the world. It's almost always about the man looking at it. Fear creates limits, but intelligent men, they question fear. They interrogate it. They strip it down until all that's left is a challenge. And they meet it. You weren't born to be realistic. You were born to test the edges of what's possible for you. And every time you say, that's impossible without trying, you're handing over your power to fear. The Stoics taught that anything within nature and reason can be achieved, with enough patience, with enough persistence, with enough practice. You want to speak better? Train daily. Want to rebuild your body? Start with one clean meal. Want to lead men? Lead yourself first. It's not impossible. It's just inconvenient. Listen, your life will either be a monument to excuses or to courage. You decide if the words, that's impossible, become your anthem or your trigger. Fear says, stop. Courage says, try. Discipline says, keep going. The final phrase is the one that looks noble on the outside, but quietly kills self-respect from the inside out. Chapter 7. Look at me. The ego's final trap. There's a hunger that lives in every man, and if you're not careful, it will devour your self-respect, your discipline, even your peace. That hunger is for attention. Most men will never say it out loud, but you can see it in their eyes. Please, look at me, validate me, approve me, make me feel like I matter. And that's the final trap of ego, the one that's dressed up as success. You want to know what separates the intelligent man from the fragile one? Presence over performance. One walks into a room and listens. The other enters with a trumpet, hoping someone claps. One lets his silence speak. The other fills every second, hoping to outrun his own insecurity. Two emperors, two legacies. One lived with purpose, the other with performance. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still doubted himself daily. He journaled about humility, restraint, death. He didn't need a crowd because he had clarity. Nero. He killed his own mother to protect his ego, burned half of Rome, and sang while it died, because his image mattered more than his duty. And that's the cost of vanity. It makes you a slave to the crowd. You think you're free, but your mood rises and falls with how much attention you're getting. You've become a performer in your own life. You don't build, you broadcast. You don't act, you announce. And I get it. We all want to be seen. We all want someone to say, "You're doing great. I see you. I admire you." But the moment you need that, you've lost control of your strength, because now you don't move based on truth. You move based on audience. You want to be powerful? Train without a crowd. Work without applause. Be dangerous in the dark. Let them wonder. Let your silence whisper louder than their noise. Let the crowd doubt you. Let them ignore you. Let them misunderstand your calm for weakness. Because in a world screaming, "Look at me," the most feared man is the one who doesn't need to be seen at all. This is what Stoicism teaches, that real power doesn't announce itself. It moves quietly, it builds consistently, and when necessary, it acts. But it never begs for validation. Here's the truth. If your confidence needs confirmation, you're not confident. If your progress needs praise, you're not progressing. If your identity depends on being noticed, you don't have one. An intelligent man doesn't need to be watched. He needs to be solid. You don't need more eyes. You need more weight. So stop chasing applause. Stop narrating your every move. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. And when they finally do look at you, make sure they see a man who didn't need to be seen to become who he is. Let's bring this full circle, because the final shift isn't about what you say. It's about who you become once you stop speaking at all. Chapter 8. Final Reflections. Become the man who says less. You've heard the words, you've seen the traps. Now the question is simple. What kind of man are you becoming? Each one of those phrases, they seem harmless, common, even relatable. But that's exactly why they're dangerous. They slide into your mouth before you even notice. They settle in your habits, and over time, they build your identity. The intelligent man doesn't just learn what not to say, he learns how to replace noise with weight. He knows this. The man who speaks less controls more. The man who asks more learns faster. The man who says none of these 7 things walks a very different path. You want to be powerful? Don't start by being loud. Start by being clear. Clear in thought, clear in purpose, clear in silence. Because intelligence isn't found in how much you say, it's found in how little you need to. The world won't reward you for talking more. It rewards you for moving right, for leading with action, for saying only what needs to be said, and no more. He didn't write that for followers, or for legacy. He wrote it for himself. If this video made you rethink how you speak, then maybe it's time to rethink how you live. Don't just sound intelligent. Be intelligent. Quietly, consistently, unshakably. If something stirred in you, if you felt called out or called forward, then this space was made for you. Subscribe. Not for me, for you, for the man you're building, day by day, sentence by sentence, in the quiet, when no one's watching. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Say less, do more, walk silent, stay dangerous.